Hello, everyone. Welcome back to English with Mavy, the perfect place to learn natural vocabulary and daily English. If you are a beginner or if you want to practice your listening skills, you are in the right spot today.
Welcome, friends. This is the place where you can level up your language skills just by listening to a normal, easy conversation. We do not use boring grammar books or rules here. We just talk like real friends.
That is exactly right, John. Hello to you. How are you doing today? Did you have a good and relaxing week?
Hi, Mavy. I am doing fantastic today, and I feel incredibly happy. Last weekend, I went away to the mountains and completely disconnected from the noisy city. I even hid my mobile phone in a kitchen drawer for 2 whole days.
Wow, that sounds absolutely amazing, John. No phone for 2 whole days? I do not know if I can do that, but it sounds like a wonderful dream.
It really was a dream, Mavy. I just spent my hours walking under the beautiful green trees, looking at the blue sky, and listening to the birds. I feel like a completely new person now. How was your week?
My week was okay, but honestly, I had a moment on Sunday where I felt a little bit surprised and a bit sad. I was sitting near my living room window and I suddenly looked at the calendar on the wall.
Oh, really? What happened when you looked at the calendar? Did you forget a special day or an appointment?
No, I didn't forget anything, John. I just realized that this year is moving incredibly fast, like a high-speed train that never stops for anyone. It feels like January was just yesterday, but now many months have already passed us by.
You are so right, Mavy. Time really does fly when we're busy. Sometimes it feels like we close our eyes for a second and a whole month disappears before we know it.
Yes, it does. But realizing how fast time moves actually made me feel very grateful to be sitting here with you today. It reminds me how special it is that our wonderful community of listeners chooses to spend their time with us.
I agree with you 100%, Mavy. It is an absolute privilege to hang out here, chat with you, and help our friends around the world build their confidence in English.
It really is. It feels like we are all sitting around a big, warm campfire together, sharing stories. But okay, small talk finished. Let's jump straight into our main theme for today's episode.
I am ready, Mavy. What are we unpacking for our listeners today? I know it is going to be something very helpful.
Well, in our last episode, we talked about a topic that many people loved, which was don't waste your time. But today, we're looking at a much bigger picture. Today, our topic is don't waste your life.
Wow, that is a very big and serious title, Mavy. When I hear those words, it makes me think deeply about how I spend my days. But dear listeners, please do not worry. We will keep it simple, clear, and very inspiring.
Exactly. We want to give you good energy today, not make you sad. But before we reveal our first major tip, we want to ask our audience for a very quick, small favor.
Yes, please. If you find value in our show, hit that like button right now, subscribe to English with Mavy, and share this audio with a fellow language learner.
Please share it, especially with that specific friend who always claims they are too busy to study English. You know the one, the friend who says they have no time but then spends 3 hours scrolling on their phone.
Yes, we all know that friend, and let's be honest, sometimes we are that friend. We're all human, but today's a perfect day to make a better choice.
What does wasting your life mean? Let's start at the very beginning, John, and make the meaning clear. What does wasting your life actually mean in simple words?
Nobody wakes up in the morning and says, "Hey, I want to ruin my life today." So, how does it happen?
That is a great question to start with, Mavy. In my eyes, wasting your life does not mean you're a bad person or that you're doing bad things. It simply means you're living like a robot or living your life on autopilot.
Autopilot is a great word for our vocabulary list today. Can you explain that word simply for our beginner learners?
Yes, of course. Think about a large airplane flying high up in the sky. The pilot pushes a button called autopilot, takes his hands off the steering wheel, and a computer drives the plane straight automatically.
Ah, I see. So the plane just moves forward, but the pilot is not exploring or making new choices.
Exactly. And a person living on autopilot does the same thing. You wake up because your alarm rings, you drink your coffee quickly without tasting it, and you go to a job you do not enjoy. And then you come home, you feel tired, so you just sit on the sofa and watch television for hours until it is time to sleep. Then you wake up and do it again on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Yes, precisely. Your heart is beating, but you are not really living a life you love. You're just letting the days pass you by like clouds in the sky without any direction.
That makes me think of an empty notebook, John. Every single day of your life is like a clean, white, blank page. If you live on autopilot, you never pick up the pen to write your own adventures.
Wow, that is a beautiful but scary picture, maybe. If you never take a chance or try something new, you open your notebook at the end of the year and find nothing but empty pages. And that empty notebook brings a very painful human emotion called regret.
Regret is a very heavy word, John. Can you explain to our listeners what regret feels like in daily life?
Regret is a sad feeling about the past, maybe. It is when you look back at your life 5 or 10 years ago when you say, "Oh, I wish I tried harder. I wish I went to that country." Or, "I wish I practiced my English every day."
Yes, regret is usually being sad about the things you did not do because you allowed fear to stop you. I remember a personal example about fear from my own life before we started this channel.
Oh, please tell us about it, Mavy. I did not know you were afraid before starting English with Mavy.
I was absolutely terrified, John. I stayed awake at night thinking, what if my voice sounds strange? What if I make mistakes? Or what if people laugh at me in the comments? Fear told me to stay on autopilot and do nothing.
But you didn't listen to the fear, right? You made a very brave and deliberate choice to start.
Yes, I did. I told myself, maybe if you do not try, you will look back with deep regret in the future. So I picked up the microphone, turned off the autopilot, and started recording. And look at us now, talking to thousands of friends.
And I am so glad you took that leap, Mavy. You felt the fear, but you took action anyway, which is the ultimate secret to life. So today, let's share 4 simple mindset shifts to help our listeners turn off autopilot and start writing a beautiful story.
I am ready to listen, John, and I know our listeners are ready too. What is the very first tip for our beginner friends today?
Tip number 1 is a big one. Stop waiting for the perfect time. I want to tell everyone a small secret today. The perfect time does not exist. It's a myth.
That's a strong statement, John. Why do you say the perfect time does not exist?
Let me give you an example. Imagine you're sitting in your car at the end of your driveway and you want to drive across a busy city to go to a nice restaurant. But you say, I will only start driving when every single traffic light in this city turns green at the exact same time.
Well, you will sit in your car forever, John. That will never happen because traffic lights do not work that way.
Exactly. But many English learners do this with their lives. They stay in their driveway and say, I will practice speaking English when I have a lot of free time, or when I have more money, or when my life is perfectly quiet.
But life is never perfectly quiet or uncomplicated, is it? There will always be bills to pay, clothes to wash, and jobs to do. If we wait for the noise to stop, we will wait until we are old.
Yes, exactly. I remember when I wanted to learn how to cook, I always told myself, I will take cooking classes when I move to a bigger apartment with a perfect large kitchen. I waited for 3 long years doing nothing.
3 years is a long time to wait. What changed your mind?
One day I looked at my small, messy kitchen and said, John, stop making excuses. I went to the store, bought some eggs and tomatoes, and just started cooking. It wasn't perfect, and it was a big mess. But today, I can cook delicious meals.
That is a wonderful lesson, John. The metaphor is clear for all of us. Don't wait for all the lights to turn green. Just start driving your car today. I love that advice, John. Just start driving the car. Let's move to tip number 2 now. What is the next mindset change we need to make?
Tip number 2 is think about how you can help the world, not just about making money. Now, money is important. We live in the real world and need it for food and rent. But if money is your only goal, your life will feel very cold.
That makes complete sense to me, John. Can you give us a picture or an example to help our beginners understand this idea better?
Yes, think about a plastic flower that you buy at a shop. It has very bright colors. It looks perfect. It never gets old. And from far away, it looks beautiful. But if you walk close to it, you realize it has no smell and it cannot grow.
Right, it is completely dead, and a bee cannot land on it to get honey. So, living only for money is like collecting a bunch of plastic flowers?
Exactly, Mavy. It looks successful from a distance, but it has no real life inside. Now think about a real flower. It starts as a tiny, ugly seed in the dark dirt. But you give it water and sunlight, and it grows and opens up.
It gives a beautiful smell to the air, it helps the environment, and it brings real, pure joy to anyone who looks at it.
Yes, when you do things to help other people, when you use your English to connect with someone, or when you are kind, you are planting a real flower. I have a good friend named Robert who will learn this lesson the hard way.
Oh, what happened to Robert? Did he focus too much on plastic flowers?
He did, Mavy. Robert worked 14 hours every day for a huge corporate company and made a mountain of money. He bought luxury cars and expensive clothes, but every time I saw him, his eyes looked incredibly sad and tired.
That is so sad. Did he ever talk to you about how he was feeling inside?
Yes, one day he sat down with me and said, John, I am rich on paper, but my life feels totally empty. I don't see my family, I don't know my neighbors, and I am not making a difference for anyone.
Wow, that must have been a difficult moment for him. Did he make a change in his life after that?
He did. He quit that high-stress job and became a sports teacher at a local school. He makes much less money now and drives an old car, but he smiles every single day because he found his purpose in helping young teenagers.
That is such an inspiring story, John. It shows that real happiness comes from meaning, not just from a big paycheck. What is tip number 3?
Tip number 3 can be very difficult for polite people, but it is necessary. Learn to say no to good things so you can say yes to great things.
Oh, that sounds interesting, John. Why do we need to say no to things that are good?
Imagine you are going on a short holiday and you have a very small backpack. As you walk down the street, you see some smooth gray stones, and because they look nice, you pick them up and put them inside your bag.
Okay, I am picturing the backpack, and it is starting to get a little bit heavy with all those rocks.
Exactly. You keep adding more and more ordinary rocks until your bag is completely full. Then suddenly, at the end of the road, someone wants to give you a priceless, beautiful, sparkling diamond, but you have absolutely no room left for it.
Ah, I see the lesson now. The ordinary rocks are the unimportant activities that fill up our day, right?
Yes. The rocks are things like spending 2 hours gossiping online, or going to a party you do not like, or watching a boring TV show just because you have nothing to do. They are not bad things, but they take away your time and energy.
And if our daily life is full of heavy rocks, we have no room for our diamonds. What are the diamonds for our listeners?
The diamonds are your biggest dreams, Mavy. Things like spending 15 minutes practicing English, taking care of your health, or reading a book. To protect your diamonds, you must look at the rocks and say, "No, thank you."
That is a great way to look at it. Saying no to unimportant things is not being rude. It is just being deliberate with your life and your future.
Exactly, Mavy. Being deliberate means making a conscious choice on purpose. Now we are at our final point. Tip number 4. Welcome the beautiful mess of growth.
Growth is a mess. That is surprising, John. I think most people believe that learning or changing your life should look clean and perfect from day one.
Many people think that, but it is wrong. Think about a caterpillar, the little green insect that crawls on leaves. It wants to change and become a beautiful butterfly with colorful wings, but the process is not clean at all.
Right. It has to go inside a dark, tight cocoon for a long time. What happens to it while it is inside?
Inside that cocoon, the caterpillar's body completely breaks down and turns into liquid goo. It is a total wet, unappealing mess for a few weeks. If you open the cocoon at that time, you would think it was a total disaster.
Wow, liquid goo. That sounds a bit strange and ugly, John.
It does, but that messy stage is 100% necessary for the insect. Without turning into that liquid mess first, it can never grow its wings and fly into the sky.
That is an amazing picture for our language learners, John. Learning a new language like English feels exactly like that liquid goo sometimes.
It really does, Mavy. When you start speaking, your sentences will not be perfect. You will forget basic vocabulary, and you will make many silly mistakes. Your English will feel very messy and uncomfortable at first.
But our listeners should not be afraid of that discomfort, because the mess does not mean you are failing. It actually means you are changing, growing, and building your butterfly wings.
Exactly, Mavy. Every single expert you see today was once a confused beginner who simply refused to give up during the messy stage.
That is so true, John. Now, we used some excellent vocabulary words today. So let's slow down for a minute and do our traditional word tour to help our beginner friends remember them.
I love the word tour, Mavy. I am ready to explain the word simply. So let's start with the first one.
Great! Word number 1 is to waste. Can you explain it and give an example sentence?
To waste means to use something valuable in a very bad or careless way. For example, you can say, I want to use my hours wisely and not waste my life on autopilot.
Beautiful. Word number 2 is autopilot.
Autopilot means doing your daily actions automatically like a robot or a machine, without thinking or making real choices. For example, I felt like I was on autopilot because I did the same boring routine every day.
Perfect. Word number 3 is regret.
Regret is a sad, disappointed feeling you get when you look back at the past and wish you did something differently. For example, she felt a lot of regret because she never learned to speak English when she was young.
And our final word is deliberate.
Deliberate means doing something slowly, carefully, and on purpose. You are making a clear choice. For example, be deliberate with your time and spend 10 minutes practicing your pronunciation today.
Thank you, John. That word tour was incredibly helpful for our beginners. Now, we are coming to the end of our episode, so let's give our friends 3 simple action steps they can take right now.
Step number 1 is to spot one autopilot habit in your day. Tonight, just notice when you are wasting time scrolling on your phone or doing something automatically, because noticing the habit is the first step to turning off the robot mode.
That is a great first step. What is step number 2, John?
Step number 2 is to take one small, messy action today. Do not wait for tomorrow or the perfect moment. Just open an English book and read 5 lines, or record your voice talking for 1 minute. Let it be messy.
Remember the caterpillar inside the cocoon. And what is our final step?
Step number 3 is to be gentle with yourself. Changing your life or learning a language takes time. So just try to be 1% better today than you were yesterday, and always celebrate your small victories.
Yes, and listening to this podcast today was a big victory for your education. You chose to invest your time in your mind, and you should be very proud of your effort.
Now, Mavy, we have our favorite part of the show, the question for our amazing audience around the world.
Yes, our question for today is, what is one small goal you have been putting off because you are waiting for the perfect time? And what is one action you will take today?
Please do not be afraid. Open the comment section below and write your answer using simple English words. We do not care about perfect grammar. We just want to see you practice and communicate.
We read every single comment, and your story might give another beginner the courage to start their own journey today. Thank you so much for spending your valuable life minutes with English with Mavy.
Thank you, friends. Keep practicing. Embrace the messy moments. Grow your beautiful wings. And always remember to be kind to yourself.
We will see you in our next episode with another great topic. Until next time, goodbye.
Bye-bye, everyone. Take care of yourselves.